Hey Beth, I thought I would give you a look at my little garden going here to this time. Right here, I don't know what it is actually. I believe it's spaghetti squash. Unfortunately, in these are wicking beds. I planted zucchini, which look over here. I've got zucchini coming in. I planted zucchini over here. And I planted cucumbers and spaghetti squash. Unfortunately, one died, and I think the one that died was the cucumber that had survived this year's planting, and I think that was the one that died. So I think I've got 3 spaghetti squash and 2 zucchini going here. But look at these zucchini coming in. These zucchini are beautiful. I'm really proud. Really proud. I didn't know that zucchini had male and female flowers. Obviously the female flowers are these down here with the zucchini on them, and the male flowers are these long ones on these long stems. And these are my wicking beds. These are tomatoes, or my tomatoes in my wicking beds. Let me go around here to the other area. They're brightened up. I was giving them too much water, so the leaves curled a little bit, but they're doing really well. Now these are a bush tomato. They don't have, they're not going to be very large, but the tomatoes are going to be about hand size. I'm not going for large, I'm going for just good. And I've been pulling the suckers off of them. And I don't know if you can notice that little hole down there in the bottom. That's what a wicking bed is. In the bottom of that barrel up to about that hole is gravel. And then there's a layer in the center, there's a little tower kind of that has sand going down to the very bottom. And then there's a layer of sand over top of the gravel, and there's a weed cloth between them. And then above that is dirt. And these things, you can put about 2.5 gallons of water in them. These tomatoes wipe that 2.5 gallons out in 24 hours. So I have to come out and give them, water just about every day, but I've been cutting back because I was giving too much water to them, and I didn't realize what was going on. Now looky here, I'm kind of proud. I got tomatoes starting. See them? Look at that little tiny tomato. And then there's a bunch of them down there starting. Little green tomatoes, little tiny green tomatoes. So these 2 right here, they have tomatoes starting on them. These have plenty of flowers. Look at my tomato blooms. So I'm really proud of my wicking beds. They're doing so wonderful. Now you see the little cup on the pipe? That's how you fill it up. You take your water bucket, and you takes about 2.5 of those water buckets to fill these up all the way. And then the wind just blew this off of here. This is weed tea, and it stinks. It is absolutely atrocious. It smells terrible. It's weeds, in this case, lawn clippings, clover and grass and that kind of stuff, and you just put it in about half, fill your bucket up about half full of water, and you put water in it. And then every day, at least once a day, I come out here, God, that stinks. You come out here, and I take my little stick here, and I stir my tea. Now for the first couple of days, all the grass that's sank, I'm surprised I looked at this, there's nothing floating on it, hardly. All the grass is sank to the bottom, and it's rotting down, and it's becoming pretty rough. And then when it's time, I take this and I dip it out. Now what this is it's a peanut butter jar, and of course you can see it's got a mason jar lid on top of it and a window screen. And I can dip it in there, and I don't get any of the bits and pieces out of the bucket, out of the weed tea. And that's good because it keeps me from getting weed seeds into my water bucket, which then would get into my wicking beds. I don't want the weed seeds in there. So just keep that all laying right there. And I try to keep this covered up because it smells pretty rough. So I'm going to snap the lid on it this time. The wind's picking up a little bit. We got a storm front possibly moving in. So, and then I got a little bit of onions growing over there. I'll take you over here in just a second and show you my secret. I think I'm going to send you some this year if you'll have them. I want to show you these. Looky here. You recognize those? What do you think about those? If you can't remember what they are, those are Jerusalem artichokes. And I'm trying to grow them out in those buckets this year so that I can take the 1 pound that I ordered off of, I probably just ruined the sound on that because I had my hand over the side of it. Those are Jerusalem artichokes, and I ordered 1 pound of them off of Amazon, and I'm growing them out. Each one of that was what was in 1 pound of Jerusalem artichokes, about $15 worth of Jerusalem artichokes. Now, if I'm lucky, those will turn into about 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds per bucket. Now, some people are getting up to 8 pounds of chokes per bucket, and I'm not having a lot of luck. I don't think they don't look like they're doing very well. So I'm just hoping that they survive and they get me some chokes this year, so that I want to build a bed over here. I want to build a bed over here about where those last 2 buckets are at, and plant them in it so that they can grow and be a nice bed. Now, here is something I've talked about for a long time. I talked to you several times about it. This is garlic. Hopefully, I'm going to have a good several bulbs out of it. This was trash garlic. This is just old cheap garlic that started sprouting that I had from Walmart. And we just planted them in there about November, December. And this is where they're at. They're starting, I think they're getting close for harvest. So pretty soon I'm going to dig one up and find out. Now, come with me. Come with me. Hi, Seven. Hi, Seven. Say hi. You out here eating your bugs? Say hi. That's my little dog. Everybody, that was 7. 7 of 9, tertiary adjunct of Unimatrix 001. Yes, I'm a Trekkie. So what do we have here? What do we have here? We have comfrey. That is comfrey starts. And they're doing pretty good. I've got to get them in the ground. I'm going to plant them over here at the end of the bed where the tomatoes at the end of the driveway. So my comfrey is coming in. So hopefully soon I will have comfrey. Now let's walk over here. One last walk here, and we'll see. My plan is to right there. This coming year, I'm going to add 2 more wicking beds. I'm going to build 2 more. These really do good. These are really doing impressive. I'm just absolutely stunned. My neighbor Steve, his dad is an older gentleman, and told me that these are the best looking vegetable tomato plants and stuff that he's seen in years and years and years. So that makes me proud. It really does. First year that I've actually gardened by myself pretty intensively, actually. I come out here about every day and I deal with them. But my plan is I'm going to add 2 more wicking beds right here. One right there and one right there. I'm going to space them out a little bit. The original plan was I was going to put a trellis right here. I was going to move this over a little bit, and I'm going to this coming year. I've got to get in here and level this out a little bit. I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to put a trellis between those 2. And the trellis will be there so that my cucumbers and zucchini, which I thought zucchini would need it, but now that I've started growing zucchini, I see that they're not like the cucumbers that I've grown in the past. I'm not going to have to worry about them so much. But the spaghetti squash and that I have never grown before, so I'm interested to see how they're going to turn out. But I'm going to put a trellis. I'm going to put a trellis up between the 2 so that I can grow the vining crops in there so that they grow up. Now right here on the end, and I've got to get it in. I've just been too lazy. But right there where them bricks are at, if I can, because underneath right there where you see that grass is actually about 4 inches of gravel. I'm going to dig 4 or 5 holes right there, and I think I'm going to plant my comfrey. I'm going to make a bed right there about where that lawnmower is sitting at right there. I'm going to make a bed and make it comfrey. Everybody needs comfrey. You should always be growing comfrey. Well, that's all for my first video. Beth, I hope this strikes your fancy and you see that I don't know. I'm going to sound like a butt no matter how I say it, but I do the things I said I did. I know you never doubted me, but I just wanted you to see my stuff this year, as I'm really proud of it. And I helped you last year with those little beds, and I was wondering several times how they were doing. So, all right, guys, let me turn the thing around and see y'all later. This is Jerry from West Virginia. God bless you. I hope everybody's out there is doing what you can do to make everything better in your life.